everybody. So today we're going to try a new one from Oddside Ales, Mesquite Rye Hipster Brunch Stout. Now I just did the chocolate version, so I have the mesquite version, which I'm doing now, the cinnamon and vanilla, and then the applewood smoked. I've done the regular one. I also have a honey version from last year, or it's either 2019 or 2018 that I'm going to also do. It might not come out side by side of these, but I thought I would fit that in there. It's aged enough, might as well drink it. So this is an imperial stout brewed with mesquite smoked malt and aged in rye whiskey barrels with maple syrup, coffee, and bacon. This one comes in at 12.7%, manufactured on 11/9/2020. This has been out of the fridge about a half hour, so let's go ahead and get it into a glass. After I'm done with all four of them, it was a 4-pack that I did pick up. It was $24 for the 4-pack. I will do a side-by-side just to see if we can pull anything else out of these beers. So let's go ahead and get this into a glass and see what we think. I'm not sure what the standard Hipster Brunch Stout is. If that's I don't know if it's a 4-pack or a 12-pack. I want to say a 4-pack, but I could be wrong. I'm sure the ABV is kind of high. I just did it. I kind of talked about it in the chocolate version of this. That I remember doing it, I think it was at the beginning of 2020 or something like that. But I couldn't remember if it was the 2019 batch or the 2018 batch. I think I still have one of those left. So let's go ahead and look at this beer. Mocha chocolate colored head, small medium bubbles, mainly small bubbles, about 3/4 of a finger. Color just like on the chocolate version. I would say a dark amber color. It is not black. If anything, this one's a little lighter. I can see a dark amber hue here that matches the bottom. So I would not say they are black. Let's go ahead and smell. Kind of disappointing smell. I get that rye whiskey barrel, a touch of oak, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of roasted malt. For the most part, this smell is very low. It's nothing in your face, or if you were drinking this blindly or doing a mystery review or anything like that, there's no way I could be able to pick out that there's mesquite in this. I almost want to say this smells like the standard one. You know, in these barrel-aged beers, you're going to get that roasted malt. Usually they make them, as far as I know, a little bit bigger than they want, because once it gets in that barrel, depending on how wet that barrel is, it is going to actually thin out the beer. So you want to go into the barrel, I believe, a little thicker, because over time, with it drawing out that liquor, it's going to dilute whatever you put in it as far as body. It doesn't smell like it's any different than I remember from the regular Hipster Brunch, but let's go ahead and taste. More woody. It doesn't have... The first thing I notice, that woodiness is all the way through this beer, from start to finish. It has a little spice to it, which would make sense. But that woodiness goes throughout the whole entire beer. And one thing I was thinking, I'm surprised we don't see that more in barrel-aged beers, just for the simple fact it's aged in those barrels, so you think that woodiness would come out more throughout the whole entire palate, where a lot of those, you know, you might get that woodiness, that oakiness up front, but then it switches to those roasted malts, and those roasted malts or adjuncts, whatever they're throwing in there, kind of cover up that woodiness, but this one does have it go all the way through. I think if I was doing this blind, that would throw up a flag. There's no way I would be able to tell it's mesquite, but yeah, that's the first thing. Alarms went off in my brain saying, why does this taste like wood all the way through? There's a good amount of sweetness on the back end. It's almost like you're waiting for that chocolate or brown sugar or something to come out, and it just doesn't. It just keeps on going with that sweetness. The aftertaste, I get that roasted malt, woody coffee, roasted malt, woody coffee sweetness in there. I still don't pick up bacon. I don't know. I don't know what that bacon's doing to this beer. But you can definitely tell, like, the main component was some kind of wood. I would almost think that it was like a loaded chocolate because of that sweetness, a loaded chocolate, brown sugar. I'm not getting a maple, right? This one also has maple, right? Yeah, maple syrup. I'm not getting the maple syrup. Going back to the 12 days of milkshake stouts, the Michigan maple milkshake stout, I'm not getting that kind of maple, but the sweetness. I can't tell you, because I know this one has maple. I couldn't tell you if I would say, okay, this has honey and chocolate, where the honey is going to drive up that ABV. You could back sweeten or add some honey before you keg to bring out more sweetness, and that's kind of what this is. Yeah, it's weird because it just made me think about it looking at that. It's smoked malt, and I've been saying throughout this review that it's woody all the way through. I guess if you smoke the malt, maybe you would get some of that woodiness. I don't think you would. I guess you could. I've never smoked grain, so I'm not 100% sure how that goes over into like food. Like, obviously, if I'm just saying, if you did some salmon, smoked salmon in this, it's not going to come across as woody. I don't know. This one tastes a lot sweeter, dessert style, but that woodiness, that woodiness just sticks out. Yeah, maybe mesquite does something different or adds that woodiness, but I'm sure I've used it when I've smoked food, smoked fish, something like that, and it hasn't come across as like a woody fish or a woody salmon or woody pork butt or anything like that. So I'm not sure why that woodiness is going through. It's still good. I think you just have to maybe like a little bit more woody, a bigger barrel aged beer that had a lot of oak woodiness in it. If the higher the oak content, if you like that, you would definitely like this. I think the sweetness, along with that roasted malt and that woodiness, cover up the alcohol pretty well. It definitely doesn't taste like a 12.7% beer. For this one, I would have to go with a 3.75 out of 5. I don't think this really shows too much off, and I almost, there's really nothing special about it. And knowing that I have the two other ones that are probably going to be better than this, but we do have, what is it, the apple wood smoked, so that would be a good comparison to see if that woodiness comes through. I have to believe this is the worst out of all four, in my opinion. So 3.75 out of 5. Let's check Untappd real quick. None of my friends have checked it in. 17 people have. Average 4 out of 5. Let's see if anybody... Underwhelming Rye Hipster variant. Odd flavor. And that's what I was saying. That woodiness just threw up a red flag. Not my thing. Is what somebody said. Yeah, this person, and I actually thought this too. I thought it would be real smoky. And I've been ruined. The very first smoked beer I had was way overdone. I'm not going to mention... I'm pretty sure I said it in one video a long time ago, maybe in 2018, but it was way overdone. Like, they left that beer, or however they put that smoke in there, for like 5 days, and that's just ruined it for me. So when I saw this, I was like, 2 smoked beers, but I had to pick it up. So yeah, 3.75 out of 5. I will be doing a side-by-side of all 4 of them in an extra video, so stay tuned for that. If you like this video, check some more out over here, and until next time, happy brewing.